Picture this for a second. You wake up, you style your hair exactly like you always do, and within minutes, it's already gone flat, like it gave up before your day even started. If that's painfully familiar, I need you to know something important. It's not you, and it's definitely not your effort. After 60, fine hair shifts in ways that quietly betray even your favorite routines, and most of us blame ourselves instead of questioning the cut itself. That stops today. We're walking through 5 bob haircuts designed to actually work with fine, aging hair instead of fighting it every morning. And trust me, by the time we reach number 5, you'll understand why so many women say it changed everything for them. You'll learn which shapes bring volume back exactly where it's needed, which ones soften your face without exposing more than feels comfortable, and which tiny details quietly separate exhausted-looking hair from hair that feels alive again. This isn't about hiding what's changed. It's about finally feeling like yourself again. Lighter, brighter, glowing in a way you'd almost forgotten was still possible for you. And before we go any further, if you've ever clicked away from one of my videos without subscribing, this is me gently calling that out, because every single time that happens, it means another woman just like you never finds this channel when she needs it most. So hit subscribe, tap that bell, and drop a comment letting me know what part of the world you're watching from. Now let's get started. Let's begin gently with something so soft, something that doesn't ask much of you, but somehow gives so much more back in return: the curtain bob. I want you to think for a second about how it feels when you catch your reflection and notice your features seem to be fading just a little. Maybe your temples feel more prominent than they used to, or your forehead seems to take up more space in the mirror than it once did, and you find yourself wondering when exactly that started happening. You're not alone in that feeling. And I promise, it has nothing to do with anything being wrong with you. It's simply your face quietly asking for a gentle frame again, something that softens without swallowing who you are. That's exactly what this cut does, and it does it so effortlessly that you'll wonder why you waited this long to try it. We've seen it work wonders time and again because it softens your forehead without committing you to heavy, blunt bangs. It builds volume right around your cheeks instead of piling everything uselessly at the crown. And it gently pulls attention straight to your eyes, where your warmth, your humor, and your story actually live. I once worked with a woman in her mid-60s who told me, almost apologetically, that she didn't want to hide behind her hair, but she also didn't want her haircut exposing every single line on her face for the world to study. We talked it through together, and a week after trying the curtain bob, she came back glowing and said it didn't cover her at all. It simply brought her forward again, like she'd been gently unveiled rather than hidden. If you've been craving shape around your face without committing to full bangs, if your temples or forehead feel a touch more noticeable lately, or if you simply love a style that moves softly with you rather than one that just sits there stiff and lifeless, this one is for you. Ask your stylist for gentle layers through the front, blending softly into curtain bangs paired with a light curve around the jawline that frames without ever feeling sharp or severe. This cut isn't about hiding what's changed. It's about being gently brought right back into the light where you belong, fully seen, fully yourself, and quietly, beautifully framed. The second haircut on our list is the micro bob. And I already know what you might be thinking because I've heard it more times than I can count. Isn't shorter hair risky when my hair is already thinning? Won't cutting it off make everything more obvious instead of less? I understand that fear completely. But here's the truth waiting on the other side of it. Shorter might be the exact thing your hair has been quietly asking for all along. The micro bob is a shorter, sleeker version of the classic bob, usually landing right around the jawline. Clean, polished, confidence. And on fine hair, it does something almost nobody expects. We've watched it work again and again for a simple reason. It removes the straggly, thinning ends that make hair look tired no matter how much product you reach for. It lifts your face instantly by revealing your jaw and your neck. And because there's simply less hair left to weigh everything down, it naturally looks fuller, fresher, more alive. I once had a woman in her early 70s sit in my chair and admit something brave. She was scared of cutting her hair shorter, but she also felt like she was clinging to something that had stopped working for her years ago. We went for it together. A soft micro bob, just under her ears, curved gently inward, no harsh lines, no fuss. Just a crisp little shape that framed her so beautifully it caught me off guard. Days later, she emailed me one line that I still think about. I feel lighter, like my hair finally matches how I feel inside. That's the whole point. Not vanity. Alignment. This cut is for you if you're craving something clean and low maintenance. It's for you if your ends are thinning, but you still want real shape, structure, presence. It's for you if you want something modern without tipping into edgy territory you're not ready for. So here's what to bring to your stylist. Ask for a soft, even cut that falls just below or right at the jaw. Add slight beveling underneath, just enough to avoid anything close to a helmet shape. Skip the heavy stacking entirely. You don't need it. Keep it simple, intentional, elegant. And don't let the word micro fool you for even a second. This cut is small in length, but massive in confidence. Because letting go of length, real length, isn't a loss the way you might fear it is. It's not surrender, it's the beginning. A quiet, powerful one, the kind that sneaks up on you weeks later when you catch your reflection and realize you're standing a little taller, a little lighter, a little more like yourself than you've felt in a long time. Sometimes the bravest thing you do all year is sit in that chair and say yes to less, and somehow walk out with so much more. The third haircut on our list is the soft A-line bob. Let's be honest with each other for a second, because I think you'll recognize this exact moment. You sit in the chair, ask for a classic bob, and somehow walk out with something stiff, heavy, and strangely flatter than what you came in with. You stare in the mirror, confused, wondering what went wrong. Here's the truth nobody tells you at that moment. It was never your hair's fault. Blunt, heavy lines weigh fine hair down and steal the very movement you were hoping for. That's exactly why the soft A-line bob feels like such a relief once you finally meet it. It gives you that clean, structured shape so many of us are drawn to. Longer in front, shorter in back, but built with softness instead of bulk, movement instead of stubborn weight. We love this cut for a few clear reasons. The gentle slope naturally lifts your neck and jawline without any extra effort from you. It keeps length exactly where you want it, framing your face beautifully. And it completely avoids that boxy mushroom-like effect that happens when fine hair gets cut too blunt, too heavy, too unforgiving. I once styled a woman in her early 70s who laughed at herself mid-sentence, telling me she always thought structure meant straight, rigid lines. This cut, she said, made her neck look longer and her hair feel lighter than it had in years. That's the quiet magic here. It creates the illusion of volume simply by moving with you, instead of fighting you every single day of your life. This style is for you if you want structure without stiffness. It's for you if you love a little movement around your chin and jaw. It's for you if you're finally ready to retire the blow dryer and round brush routine for good and just live a little lighter. So bring this to your stylist. Ask for a soft front-to-back angle, nothing sharp, nothing severe. Add minimal stacking, just enough to give shape without overdoing it. Keep the neckline clean rather than cropped. This bob doesn't shout for attention, and it was never trying to. It quietly enhances everything you already have, everything that's been there all along, waiting to be framed correctly instead of fought against. For women over 60, navigating fine aging hair, that kind of quiet confidence isn't a small thing. It's everything. It's the difference between leaving the salon disappointed again and finally walking out feeling like the woman you actually are. The fourth haircut on our list is the inverted bob. And I think this one might speak to you more than you expect. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, teasing the crown, spraying, fluffing, only to watch your hair fall completely flat again within 5 minutes, leaving you wondering why you even bothered that morning? If that sounds painfully familiar, you are not alone in it. And no, it is not that your hair is stubborn or somehow working against you on purpose. It simply means your cut has never been doing the actual work it should be doing for you. You might have heard that the classic straight-across bob is the safe, foolproof choice. neat and clean and predictable. But for fine hair after 60, it can quietly become your worst enemy, piling weight right where your hair is already weakest, at the back of your head, dragging everything down before your day has even started. That is exactly where the inverted bob steps in and changes the entire equation for you. This style, shorter in the back and longer in the front, gently shifts the weight forward, and that one small architectural shift makes a genuinely enormous difference in how your hair behaves all day long. We have seen it work, time and time again, for 3 clear reasons. It lightens the back so your crown is never dragged down by its own weight. It adds length exactly where your hair already carries more density, around your face where you need it most. And it gives your entire look real structure, even when your individual strands feel soft, fine, or thin. I once worked with a woman in her mid-60s who told me almost defeated that every cut she had ever gotten just made her hair hang there lifelessly. What she actually needed, she said, was something with shape, not simply less length stripped away. After trying the inverted bob, she came back and told me that for the first time in years, she did not feel like her hair was sliding off her head. Hearing that from her, I'll admit, genuinely stayed with me long after she left the chair. So here's what I want you to bring to your stylist. Ask for tapered layers at the back, a gentle forward angle that softly frames your jaw, and subtle crown volume built in through soft layering rather than heavy, obvious stacking. This cut is for you if your hair is finer in the back and fuller toward the front. It's for you if you constantly struggle with flatness right at the nape of your neck. And it's for you if you simply want real shape without depending on heat tools or styling hacks every single morning before you've even had your coffee. Because once your haircut is finally built to hold the volume for you, on its own, without a fight, you get to stop chasing it altogether. You get your mornings back, you get to just live in your hair again, instead of constantly managing it. The 5th haircut on our list is the textured bob. And let's be honest with each other for a moment, because I think you already know this feeling well. Perfectly smooth hair looks beautiful in magazines, but in real life, it often just means more time, more heat tools, and more frustration than it's worth. Especially with fine hair after 60, that polished, glassy look can start to feel flat, stiff, or just not you anymore. Like you're performing a version of neat that doesn't actually fit how you feel inside. That's exactly why the textured bob feels like such a breath of fresh air the moment you try it. It's not about chasing perfection at all. It's about soft layers, natural bends, and a little bit of movement, the kind that brings both your hair and your face quietly back to life. We love this cut for a few clear reasons. Texture adds real volume without needing a ton of product weighing everything back down. Soft, piecey layers create dimension even if your hair is thinning underneath. And maybe most importantly, it lets your hair feel like it's still genuinely yours, not something you have to wrestle with and negotiate with every single morning before you even leave the bathroom. One of my favorite memories from the chair involves a woman in her late 60s who came in and told me something so honest it stuck with me. She said she used to love messy, beachy hair when she was younger, but lately she felt like she was supposed to go neat and tidy instead. Like that was the only acceptable version of herself now. So we gave her a lightly layered textured bob together. Nothing wild, just a soft shape that genuinely moved with her instead of against her. She came back 2 weeks later, glowing, and told me she felt like she was smiling more and hadn't even realized she'd stopped. That's the quiet power of this cut. It doesn't ask you to look younger. It asks you to look like yourself again, relaxed, radiant, and a little bit free from all that maintenance. This style is for you if your hair feels limp and lifeless, no matter what you use on it. It's for you if you're simply tired of chasing neat day after day with nothing to show for it. And it's for you if you want a shape that forgives a day without styling instead of punishing you for skipping it. So bring this to your stylist. Ask for gentle point cut layers throughout, a soft, tousled finish that doesn't cling tightly to the scalp, and ends that look feathered rather than blunt or harsh. This cut isn't about erasing the years behind you. It's about wearing them lighter, with a little more ease, and a little more joy. Because at this stage, you've already earned the right to stop fighting your hair every single morning and finally just let it move with you, the way it was always meant to. So let's bring it all together for a moment, because I want you to really sit with this before you go. We didn't just walk through 5 bob haircuts today, even though yes, we absolutely did name 5 solid options worth trying. What we actually explored together is something deeper. The idea that even fine, thinning hair can still fully express who you are, without apology and without exhausting effort. You don't need volume the size of Texas, and you don't need to hide behind heavy layers or chop everything off out of pure frustration with what isn't working anymore. You simply need a cut built to work with your hair, not against it, every single day. Let's recap quickly. The curtain bob, gently framing your face and bringing your eyes back into focus. The micro bob, small in length but enormous in confidence. The soft A-line, quiet structure without a single ounce of stiffness. The inverted bob, lifting from the crown while sculpting softly at the front. And the textured bob, bringing movement and life back into hair that's been begging for both. Each one solves a different problem, but they all share one thing in common. None of them ask you to become someone else. They simply let the version of you that's still growing, still glowing, finally come through. So tell me honestly in the comments, which one are you most curious to try? And which one do you wish you discovered 5 years sooner? And if you're still holding on to a cut that doesn't quite feel like you anymore, let this be your gentle nudge to finally let it go. Before you leave, if this video gave you even a little more confidence today, do me one favor. Hit that subscribe button, because there's so much more like this coming your way, and I'd genuinely love for you to be here for every bit of it.